What's up, guys? It's Benny. We were able to fly on Trump's plane with Trump and eat McDonald's with him. It was an awesome experience. We put it all together in a documentary. It was great. It was a couple of years ago. Anyway, I'd love to redo that on Air Force One, and we're working on that. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what President Trump sat down, ate his fries, and watched Fox News with us. He has massive screen in front of him. Donald Trump loves cable news. He watches it all the time. He's often posting about things that happen on cable news, on Truth Social, like they'll happen and then he'll post about it. And it's a powerful mechanism for President Trump to absorb information. And the reason why I say that is that something really big has happened, something quite earth-shattering, in fact, has happened inside of this Epstein crisis that is currently engulfing the Trump administration. No, I'm not talking about Elon Musk unfollowing Pam Bondi, although that is a black spot, certainly, on in certain circles, right? I'm talking about this. A president who is very locked in when it comes to cable news, watching on cable news the fallout from this decision to just kind of whitewash the entire Epstein issue away and never talk about it again. It's not going over very well, especially with people who've done an enormous amount of reporting on it. And now Fox is, well, engaging in a lot of criticism of the administration for doing it and handling it this way. They're using some of our videos in order to level that criticism. And you know what? Let's talk about it. Trump administration blasted by another A-list conservative for claiming there's nothing in the Epstein files. This time it's Jesse Waters, who took over Tucker Carlson's time slot. Jesse Waters leveled this criticism of the Trump administration on Fox News' most watched show. That would be a show called The Five.
And spied on his campaign and tried to take down his presidency. And then they got caught red-handed. And we'll find out if there was a conspiracy or whether they lied to Congress. And I hope they pay the price. But they might not, because a lot of these guys skate all the time. So I'm not going to get my hopes up. You saw what happened with Epstein. You know, you get your hopes up and then all of a sudden, poof, everything disappears. So the Justice Department and the FBI have a lot riding on these prosecutions. I'd like to see justice. But it's like you get guys out there that say that there's this pipe bomb at the DNC and then like whatever happened to that? Mm-hmm. What about the Vegas shooter? Remember how suspicious that whole thing was? Poof, that disappears. You know, all these things always come across and then they just disappear. And it's very frustrating for the American people. Epstein. Yeah, I mean, I said Epstein. Like, where did this guy go? Where did that whole case go? Where did all the files go? They just went nowhere? No one even believes that. So you got to go after these guys, and you have to go after them hard, because the American people aren't going to tolerate the corruption. You got someone like Nancy Pelosi. Her stock portfolio went up $40 million last year. And that's more than any hedge fund in the United States. And her husband's not even a professional investor. He owns a vineyard. And then Joe Biden's taken millions from the Chinese all into the table. He got nothing to show for it. And at the end of the day, he pardons his whole family and walks out the door. And then his stupid doctor pleads the fifth under oath. No one is going to get punished for any of this stuff. It just seems like Trump's people always go to jail, and these Democrats and these deep state darlings always skate.
Well, you have a point there, Jesse.
I have so many good points.
But politics is dirty.
Politics is dirty. Shut up. Shut up. We all watched the DOJ's capacity to arrest every single grandmother who even dared to look at the United States Capitol during January 6th. And those grannies, some of them died in prison. Some of them got cancer and died in prison. And so all we're asking is for them to at least investigate some of the billionaires, prime ministers, members of the royal family, members of our own political elite, perhaps former presidents, who were on Epstein's list, flight logs, camera footage, obviously. And the DOJ says that's too hard. That's why former Fox News superstar Glenn Beck is calling for Pam Bondi to resign. Former Fox News superstar Megyn Kelly saying her days are numbered. Former Fox News superstar Tucker Carlson saying that this is such an abomination to talk about how many children were abused by Epstein and then say, but he's innocent. And no one will ever be charged for it. It's insane. Here's Tucker's take. Not just Tucker. There's a considerable portion of the internet that is absolutely crashing out over this. Obviously, the response has been a pressure cooker because we saw the way that they treat us. If you wear a red MAGA hat, you're going to prison for the rest of your life if you even jaywalk or chew gum the wrong way. If you are an elite predator cult, then nothing happens to you. And you actually get absolution. It's not just like an ongoing investigation. You get cleared of everything. Man, it's bad, bad, bad. Laura Ingraham, who also has a very popular show, brought on one of our favorite guests, which is Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch, who's currently suing for these documents. He's suing the feds. The feds had to admit today, humiliatingly, that, yeah, they have to, like, give him the documents. Well, I thought there were no documents. I thought there was no other evidence. The whole thing's insane. It's being criminally mismanaged, and it's doing a lot of damage. So I want it to be over with. And I'd like for there to be some type of absolution for those who have been covering the story for a very long time. I mean, ultimately, we the American people are well aware that there's a lot more here telling us, it's cool, bro, we looked into it, move along. It's not going to work. So here's Tom Fitton and Molly Hemingway going scorched earth mode on Laura Ingram's show on Fox as well. Something that we know Trump watches because he appears on it. Our clip, by the way, being featured. Proud of that. Here we go.
Today, in a joint status report, the FBI says it's still running searches on the Epstein records, including all communications from Director Kash Patel regarding a possible client list. So are there reasonable conclusions to be drawn here? And is this a messaging problem? Did they overpromise before they knew what the documents would show? Here to weigh in is Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch president, and Molly Hemingway, the Federalist editor-in-chief and Fox News contributor. Tom, here's what Kash Patel said about that Epstein client list shortly after he was nominated as FBI director. Watch.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Tom, he sounded pretty definitive there. So what changed?
I think they decided for political purposes they didn't want to include the individuals who are on these lists and put them in the public domain. And they were concerned that some of them may not have done something warranting the disclosure. I mean, that's the most charitable interpretation. You know, but there is a list. There's no doubt. I mean, they talk about in the memo they wrote, well, there's no incriminating client list. Well, what does that mean? I want the non-incriminating client list. And, of course, a client list is a term of art, right? Where are his associates? Where is the list of contacts? You know, and we asked under our FOIA lawsuit, Pam Bondi, give us the documents that you say you were looking at. Give us documents about the release of these documents. You said the FBI was obstructing the release. They came back to us and said, we have nothing.
Molly.
Well, this is a proxy for what we've seen with so many big stories throughout the years where the American people just want to know what's going on with
whatever
assassination attempts, you know, whether it's the one in Butler on Trump or the one that was successful against JFK, the Russia collusion hoax, the situation with Epstein. Everyone understands that there might not be a, you know,
smoking gun.
Right. But no one feels very satisfied with the level of investigation that was taking place or the transparency. And it seems that the FBI and other government agencies care more about managing the narrative than actually just revealing the information that needs to be revealed.
Then we have interviews with former mobsters who actually was in the same jail as Epstein and had kind of a shocking claim. Watch.
Jeffrey Epstein would have to be a magician to try to hang himself in that cell. I was in that cell. There's no way there's nothing on the ceiling. The bedpost is this high. I couldn't even go to a restroom without them walking back and forth and having me on camera. You know, there's no way he committed suicide.
Tom.
You know, and Pam Bondi yesterday said that video they released isn't conclusive.
But it's a reset. That minute is a regular reset of the system.
And they're still looking for that minute. And to release video that doesn't show what happened in the cell isn't terribly persuasive. I'm not sure what they were expecting there. The fact is there are two competing forensic investigations, one by Epstein's family, which suggests that it was a homicide, and one by the examiner up in New York. He says it was a suicide. So given those issues, to say because the video doesn't show one way or the other whether someone went in there, to conclude, oh, well, there's nothing to investigate, seems odd. And they also said, we're not going to give you any more documents. And kind of with this, well, when there are too many conspiracy theories out there. And I don't like to be dissed like that.
In the end, it's not hard. Just don't protect the predators. It's not hard. Treat the predators as the enemy, not us. It's weird. It's like attacking the fans. Hollywood does this all the time, right? They when they have a bomb of a movie that they're not proud of, they attack the fans. So, like, why are you attacking the fans here? We're the good guys. We're the ones who want to stop the predators and put them in jail. We're not the bad guys. They're the bad guys. There needs to be like a full table reset here, ladies and gentlemen. And with Fox going hard in, man, it's going to be a rough road. Right? Yeah. Okay. Weirdly enough, CNN also going hard. Is that crazy? CNN, Jake Tapper this week saying, no, there's piles of evidence in the Trump administration, like the DOJ's lying. Yikes. Facts. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for more truth.